Welcome to the Traditional Way podcast, available only on the Martial Arts Center Network. I am your host, Brett Shumway. And if you're like me and you're a huge fan of sport karate, check out all the great programming on the Martial Arts Center Network on our social media pages and on the website at www.mainternetwork.com. Now, on this episode, I'm going to preview the Karate One Premier League event that is taking place in Antalya, Turkey on March 15th through the 17th, as well as bring you the results from the African Games. But first, I want to highlight two of the up-and-coming athletes that have dominated in recent events. Let's start in the minus 75 kilogram division, where Ukrainian fighter Hirori Pitzel has been on a tear since stepping up into the veterans divisions. Starting in June of 2023, when he stepped up in the veterans and the U21 divisions, he initially stumbled out of the gate, which is as to be expected, but that was it. One participation in his first event out of the juniors. Since then, he has won 4 golds, 2 silvers, and a bronze, including a U21 European Continental title. His efforts on the Series A has put him in the contention as he enters the Premier League as the number 5th ranked fighter in the division. Will he be the one to take over the division? Antalya will be the test for him. As we look at female kata divisions, arguably nobody has a bigger ascent than Kiri Mishimi. Since breaking into the WKF on the Series A in September of 2023, she has not lost an event. She has 4 golds in as many events and has moved into the number 6 ranking. Well, realistically, she should be 5th in my opinion, but Hikaru Ono's points are still valid even though she has announced her retirement. Now, is she the next kata queen to come out of Japan? She will also be present in Turkey for her first Premier League event, and I'm super excited to see where she ends up in the ranking. Let's take a look at how the divisions will break down for Antalya. As we take a look into the most unpredictable division in the Premier League, the minus 60 kilogram division is always a crapshoot. Could world number 5 Ire Samdan do it again, this time in front of his home crowd? Coming off his gold in Paris, he could be a favorite in Antalya. The world number 1 Christos Xenos hasn't won a Premier League gold since 2022. Is he due for another? For me, I want to see what the young Frenchman Rayan Mezian does. He comes into Antalya losing his bronze medal matchup in Paris, but I think he's ready to make his mark on the division. I predict that he sees a medal stand at this event. Now, this will be the second Premier League event absent the world number 1 and number 2. For Steven Takasta, he really doesn't need to compete unless he's looking to win the grand winner in the Premier League. He's already qualified for the World Championships, and in 2025, he'll make his attempt to see if he can do 4 in a row. So I'm not sure, with all of that, when we are going to see him again. Now, for the rest of the division, I like the chances of Didar Amirali. And not just because he comes in the highest seed in the division. He has medaled in 9 out of his last 11 events going back to 2021. Unfortunately, Paris was one where he didn't see the medal stand. But I think he gets back to form in Turkey, and we'll see the final matchup at this event. The minus 75 kilogram division might be all accounted for as world number 1 Abdallah Abdelaziz has been on a tear winning his last 4 events, including Paris. I believe the 24-year-old will add to his 8 Premier League medals. The only question is what color. Additionally, Hirori Pitzel will make his Premier League debut, and all of you guys know who follow the show know I'm a big fan of what this young man has been doing in the last couple of events. Will this just be an experience for the youngster, or will he introduce himself with a splash in Turkey? I for one, am really champing at the bit to see that division. The minus 84 kilogram division has a lot of talent, but world number 2, Youssef Badaway, comes in hot. He has medaled in his last 12 events, including 10 golds, and he's only 22. So his 4 years in the division have been really successful. I foresee that he keeps his medal streak going in Turkey. However, for me personally, I like Madi Kotabakshi, right? So now I will admit this is still me hoping, right? His performance at the World Championships was amazing, and it left me wanting more. Now, will this be the first time this will be the first time he's competed since the Worlds, and I would like to see if he was just a flash in the pan, or do we have a real star here? In the over 84 kilogram division, world number 1 Taha Tariq Mahmoud should be the obvious pick for the division. He has medaled in his last 11 events, and he's made the final matchup in 10 of them. But I like Rizan Talibov's chances in Turkey. And I will admit this is just a gut feeling. He hasn't been overly impressive, and his biggest feat was the back-to-back golds in the Premier League at the end of last year. Since then, he really hasn't regained form. I think he'll have another good showing in Antalya to get back on track. For the men, all the usual suspects are in attendance for the Kata division. However, this may be a different outcome than others. Every year, there is one Premier League event that the outcome is completely different in the Kata divisions than expected. And I feel Turkey is going to be is going to be the one. And why is Turkey is a heavy, heavy Shotokan country. In fact, I'm not sure if I've ever seen a Turkish competitor do another style. I think that will have an effect on the event. I foresee some Shotokan competitors placing higher than normal. Obviously, Ryuji's performance from Paris is still on everyone's mind as he looks to climb the rankings. Will we see Ali on top of the medal podium in front of his home country? I predict we will see a good showing for Ali, and it will be Kaz, not Ryuji, on the medal stand in Turkey. Obviously, the next progression for Ariel would be a final matchup on the Premier League. I don't foresee that at this event, only for the reasons I've already stated. I think he sees another bronze medal matchup. In what might be the deepest Kumite division in terms of talent on the Premier League, the minus 50 kilogram division will see if world number 1 Jorgalis Salazar can do it again against world number 2 Reem Salama. Will these two meet in the final once again as they did in Paris? However, you can't count out Modir Zhangberbe. She is the defending world champion, and she is right there with the other two on the medal stands at most events. One thing that this division hasn't had in a while is an upset, and I think Emma Scardelli might be the one to do it. She hasn't had the best success on the Premier League yet, but she's still only 19 and the world number 1 in the U21 division. So she's poised to move into the veterans division and carve out a spot for herself. Before I start the minus 55 kilogram division, I want to make a correction. The world number 1, Turlugos, first name is pronounced Angelica. I and the Premier League announcer has been saying it wrong. It is not Angelica, it is Angelica. But don't take it from me.
My name is Angelica Turluga.
There you go. I just wanted to make sure I got that out there. If you're one of the most dominant female fighters in WKF history, at the very least, we should pronounce your name correct. With that, of course, she's my pick to win, right? Who doesn't want to see her break the gold medal record for the Premier League? She is still 4 away from that mark. And with the setback she had in Paris, she has her work cut out for her. Additionally, up-and-comer Mia Beich will attempt her second go at the Premier League following her silver medal from Paris. And American Trinity Allen will be in attendance as well in her first Premier League event of this year. In Paris, the minus 61 kilogram division was shook up by Astusa Galshanazad. Can she do it again? Can Fatma Nazienin figure out in front of her home crowd? She is one to watch last year, but hasn't found form in recent events. Leaving the question, did she just get lucky for 2 events and that was it, or does she have more to show? I always like Li Gong's chances in this division as well. The longtime minus 68 fighter has had much success since losing the weight and moving down to the minus 61 division. And I think she stands on top of the medal stands in Antalya. Now, once again, Irana Zaretska will not grace the Premier League with her presence, leaving us to wonder if she will be at any Premier League events this year, which leaves the division to her rival, Elena Quercy, one would think. But we thought that in Paris, and she didn't take advantage of that. So will we see if she can get back to form in Antalya? Will Talia Sombre continue to impress following her goal at Paris, which was a shock to a lot of us who cover the Premier League? I would like to see the other French woman have a good event. With 15 Premier League medals, Alazi Algier would like to make it 16, and I think she has a good chance to medal at Turkey, hopefully breaking her streak to bronze medals, which is currently at 3, with a silver or gold. Now, the over 68 kilogram division will be different with no Japanese fighters present in the division in Turkey. And this is one division where they've had a ton of success in recent events. World number 3, Maria Garcia, will be present, and following her gold in Paris, is in great position to see the medal stands once again, since she has looked good in her past 3 events. Sofia Burutselva will return for her first event since Budapest, looking to secure her first gold in the Premier League since 2021. However, I like Cleo Ferracuda's chances in Turkey. She is almost there, right? A lot of bronzes. I think this may be one where she sees a final matchup. Now, the female kata division is still a mystery to me. I'm still trying to wrap my head around Paris. Grace Lau, who has become a mainstay in the final matchup, and the world number one, taking bronze still confuses me. Will she regain her place in the finals in Turkey? I feel that this event will be heavily stacked Japanese medal stand, with Maho Ono, Marisa Ouchi, and Saiko Krishna all being in attendance. And let's not forget, Kiri Mishima will make her Premier League debut, and we will have to wait and see where she ends up in the mix. Lastly, I fear that this is another event where, unfortunately, Sakura Kokomai doesn't see a medal stand. Although she'll be the one who I'm cheering for, as she makes her 34th appearance at a Premier League event. The African Games was a Continental Olympic qualifier. Even though karate will not be in the Olympics, it is still included in these games, as the WKF is still an IOC-recognized organization for traditional karate. And here are the results. We start in the minus 50 kilogram division, where Yasmin Eljawili upsets the number 2 ranked U21 fighter Celia Oiken to take gold by a score of 7-5. Luisa Abarici wins gold by a score of 3-1 in the minus 55 kilogram division. The World Championships bronze medalist Norseen Ali would take gold in the minus 61 kilogram division by a score of 9-5. In the minus 68 kilogram division, world number 11 Chajai Fatima Zara would blank her opponent 3-0 to secure her gold medal. Rounding out the female divisions, world number 6 Mina Okila would secure the gold in the over 68 kilogram division with a 3-1 victory. Newcomer Ala Selmi would take the minus 60 kilogram division with a 6-1 victory to start out the men's kumite divisions. Anis Halassa took a close matchup to win the minus 67 kilogram division by a score of 2-1. The minus 75 kilogram division would find world number 1 Abdallah Abdelaziz taking gold with a score of 9-5. And not to be outshone, Egypt's other world champion and world number 2 ranked Yusuf Badawi would take the minus 84 kilogram division by a score of 3-0. And lastly, the over 84 kilogram division has an upset, as world number 1 Taha Tariq Mahmoud would lose 1-0 to the number 14th ranked Hosim Choya in the final matchup. In the female kata division, En Nesari Anna wins the final matchup by a half point to secure the gold for the world number 11th ranked competitor. The men had the number 7th ranked competitor Karim Ghali easily securing the gold, winning by 2.4 points. In the female team kata division, Egypt would defeat Morocco by a score of 1.8 points to take the gold. And in the Battle of Unsus, it would be Egypt toppling Algeria in the final matchup by 1.2 points to secure the gold in the men's team kata division. The Egyptian team would dominate the female team kumite division, securing gold by defeating Senegal. Their men's team would also dominate, winning gold over Algeria. What's even more impressive is both Egyptian teams only lost one fight each throughout the entire division at these events. In closing, to piggyback off from last show, Egypt is showing up in the kumite divisions wherever they are competing. I get that the African Games isn't indicative of the other events, as it wasn't open to countries outside of Africa. However, it doesn't seem to matter, as they are winning at all the events they attend. I'm also very excited to see what happens in Turkey. I mean, Paris was full of surprises, and I don't see Antalya being any different on that respect. This year's the Premier League is interesting because some of the top competitors have not been present, and a bunch of young talent is stepping up and making inroads on the standings. I, for one, love the fact that they are shaking things up. It keeps things more interesting, and it keeps us all coming back to see what happens. As a spectator sport, you need intrigue to keep our attention so we continue to watch what's going on. The Premier League delivers that every time. With that, guys, join me on the next episode where I will bring you the results from Antalya. Continue to support this podcast and all programming on the Martial Arts Internet Network as we continue to bring you all the information within our sport karate community. Until next time, guys.